everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the S-Class. This is Sonia, and today we are going to see a new topic which is contained in our knowledge spiel. By the way, I don't know what is in here. I'm never aware of them, so... Okay, food labeling. This is a bit of a nicky one. There is a lot to talk about. I will discuss general food labeling, and then I will do another video talking about organic products, which are the ones in which I specialize the most, but I want to give you a brief introduction of food labeling in general. So, when we have a food product, for example, this one that I have here, in the meantime, let me put this here. The requirements by law are the following. So, first you need to have the name of the product. This can be decided. There has to be a name and a description of the product. In this case, it's pea protein. Then there has to be the quality of the ingredients. In this case, on the back we also have a more specific label where it says organic pea protein because this one is certified. Then we need to have a list of ingredients unless the product is a pure ingredient like this one. When we have, for example, here in the white chocolate we have more than one ingredient, then we have to list all of the ingredients. Furthermore, we need to list the allergens, and these specified ones are 14. I will see if I remember them all, I'm not sure. Obviously, there exist millions of allergies. People can be allergic to the strangest things, but these 14 are the ones that are considered most common. So we have gluten, cereals containing gluten, dairy, so milk, eggs, fish, crustacean, mollusks, lupin, celery, mustard. It's like the 7 dwarfs. There is always one missing. Nuts, peanuts, sesame seeds, soya beans, and sulfur and sulfide dioxide. These usually used as a preservatives. These are the 14 main allergens, so to speak, and have to be indicated in the label, even if the product can only contain traces. Therefore, it doesn't mean in that case that the product contains the allergen, but that it's packed in an environment where there could be traces of such. So if someone is allergic, obviously they need to be careful. And what about the other allergens? This is a very good question. Unfortunately, if a person is allergic to one allergen which is not indicated in the label, it is their responsibility to contact the manufacturer and try and find out whether the product contains the allergen. I know that it's not really fair, but unfortunately this is what the law requires. Next, on the packet there has to be the net quantity contained in the packaging. Usually we find a small e next to the quantity indicated in the label. That means estimate, and it means that a 5% plus or minus is allowed. Then we need to specify whether there are specific storage conditions in which we need to store the product, whether it goes in the fridge, whether it needs to stay in a dry environment, the minimum durability of the product, so until when it lasts, also the expiry or best before date, the name and address of the business. Not necessarily does this mean the name and address of the manufacturer. So if I, for example, ask someone to produce something with my label, it doesn't necessarily mean that on the packaging I need to specify who the manufacturer is. This is a bit fiddly. I will not go into the details of when and where it has to be specified because it varies from country to country, and I could write probably a whole book. Then we need to specify the nutritional information, so the calories, the amount of carbohydrates, the protein, etc. And then we need to specify whether there is alcohol if the quantity is more than 1.2%. After this, there are certain cases in which we need to specify other information. Products that have been packaged with the use of gases to increase the durability. So you will often read packed in a protective atmosphere. This is in order to avoid oxidation of the product usually. Whether the product contains more than 10% of polyalcohols, I will do a video about this and what they are. Usually it's those ending in OL, so xylitol, sorbitol, etc. because an excessive consumption of these may cause laxative effects, so it always has to be specified. You see this usually on gum. Food containing sweeteners, if it is aspartame, it needs to be specified separately, but even all the other synthetic sweeteners always have to be declared. Whether the product contains caffeine, as this can be a problem if the person is suffering of certain conditions, or with kids, or with pregnant women, or whether the product contains glycyrrhizinic acid, which is an extract of licorice, as this may affect people that suffer from blood pressure issues. Also, foods that contain frozen meat or fish need to have this specified clearly on the label. On certain foods, it is required to specify the origin of the product. Sometimes the actual country of origin needs to be specified, sometimes only whether it's EU, non-EU. This varies from product to product. And in organic products, this is always a requirement. As I said, I will go into the details of what is required on an organic label, but this is one of the things which I personally like very much about organic certifications, that we have that extra little bit of information on all foods. I thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps, and see you at the next episode.